Hello everyone, myself Shubhi Rastogi and I am teaching in KL International School, Meerut. Today we are going to discuss the topic crop production. In this topic, we are going to learn about different techniques of growing crops. You know what? Agriculture began about 12,000 years ago. Before that, humans were wandering for food, they ate raw fruits and vegetables, and they used to hunt for animals. Slowly, they discovered that if they started growing their own crops, they can get their own food. Now there has been a revolution in the field of agriculture, the development of new techniques, invention of new implements. All these methods have increased the agriculture tremendously. So we are going to start with the chapter. The first topic which we are going to discuss are the terms which are related to agriculture. What is agriculture? Agriculture is the science that deals with the growth of plants and the animals for the human use. Now we will talk about the crops. What are crops? How can you define crops? Crops are the plants. When the plants are grown at the same place for food, they are known as the crops. Next comes the horticulture. Now, how can you define horticulture? Horticulture is basically the science that deals with the growth of vegetables, fruits, and the decorative plants. Next, we are going to discuss about the seasonal crops. According to the season, we have two types of crops, the Rabi crops and the Kharif crops. Now, what are Kharif crops? These crops require a lot of rainfall and they are basically monsoon crops. They are sown during the month of June or July. Coming to the Rabi season, they are non-monsoon crop. That means they do not require a lot of rainfall and they are sown at the beginning of the winter season. Some examples of Kharif crops are maize, soya bean and cotton. While in Rabi season, the crops which are grown are gram, pea, mustard and linseed. Now we will be discussing about the step-by-step methods of crop production. How we can get better variety of crops, how to sow the seeds, how to select the seeds. Now we are going to study about them step by step. So the first step which we are going to discuss about is preparation of soil. So how can you prepare the soil? For preparation of soil, there are two steps. First is loosening and the second one is turning. Both the steps are very important as they help to increase the nutrients, as they help to increase the fertility of the soil. But how do they increase the fertility of the soil? They allow the roots to penetrate deep inside the soil, and once the roots penetrate deep inside the soil, they can breathe very well. Next, they are very important for the earthworms also, which provide nutrients to the soil. This preparation of soil can be done by an implement which is known as a plow. After preparation of the soil, the second and the most important task is seed selection. While selecting the seeds, we have to make sure that the seeds which are to be selected should be of good quality, healthy and disease-free. After seed selection, the process of sowing begins. While sowing the seeds, we have to take care of three most important points. That is, they should be sown at the proper depth and second, at the proper distance. If the seeds are not sown at the proper distance, there are chances that they may compete for soil, for the water and the minerals because they will get overcrowded and they will not find the place for the growth. So this can be done by an implement which is known as a seed drill. After sowing, the next step is manuring. Manuring, what are manures? Manures are the organic substances which have one or the other nutrients present inside them and they help to increase the fertility of the soil. But what are fertilizers? Fertilizers are the human-made chemical substances which help to increase the nutrients and they help in increasing the fertility of the soil. One of the most commonly used fertilizer is NPK fertilizer. NPK means where N stands for nitrogen, P stands for phosphorus and K stands for potassium. The next step which we are going to talk about is irrigation. Irrigation means providing proper supply of water to the plants. Irrigation can be done either by naturally providing water through the rains or by the artificial sources of water, which includes the tube wells and the canals. We have some modern techniques, some modern methods of providing water also, which includes the drip irrigation system and the sprinkler system. Next comes the weeding. Now what is weeding? Weeding means removal of weeds. But what are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants that grow along with the crops. Now what do? They compete for water, for the minerals and for the nutrients which are present inside the soil. So their removal is compulsory, because if they are not removed timely, they may cause less yield of crops. Now how are they removed? They are removed by adding the chemicals which are known as weedicides. So weedicides are the chemicals that are added to the soil to remove the weeds. Some of the important weedicides are ceniazine, metachlor, etc. And this weeding can be either done manually through trowel or by a harrow. Here are some of the common weeds, which includes amaranthus, etc. Next step is harvesting. What is harvesting? Once the crop is ready, it has to be taken out, it has to be cut down. Now harvesting is either done through sickle or by means of a machine which is known as the harvester. This harvesting is followed by threshing and winnowing. The last step of crop production is storage. Before storing the grains, we have to make sure that it does not have any moisture in it, because if the crops are having moisture in them, there are chances that they may get attacked by the rodents and the insects, which may spoil the crops. So if the storage is done on a small scale, we can either pack them in the bags, but if we do the storage on a large scale, we have to store them in silos and the granaries. Now there is an additional information for you all. A new method of grain storage involves the use of nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas is circulated through the grain piles in silos. It replaces air and hence oxygen in the silos. This kills all pests and microorganisms, which means that moisture is completely removed through the system, and this system is very easy to implement. I hope you all understood the chapter very well. Thank you and have a great day.